So I'll call the meeting to order. Due to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, Governor Baker issued an emergency order temporarily suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law. Public bodies otherwise governed by the open meeting law are temporarily relieved from the requirement that meetings be held in public places open and physically accessible to the public, so long as measures are taken to ensure public access to the body's deliberations through adequate alternative means. This meeting will be broadcast live on Channel 8. I assume we're on Channel 8, okay? And on Zoom. The public may participate remotely by following the call-in information on the bottom of the live broadcast screen. For the Zoom meeting information relating to remote participation, please call Cindy Knox, the IT director, at cknox at ayer.ma.us or 978-772-8252, or Tim Silva, library director, at tsilva@ayer.ma.us or 978-391-9466 prior to the meeting. Okay, I guess
Well
that
done.
thank you. That takes care of that. All right, so we're going to call the meeting to order. Hopefully everybody is here. Can I just do a roll call vote of, or just acknowledgement as to who's here tonight from the library board? And I thought I printed out all the, so I'm going to call them in the order that's under the email. Becky Campiner, are you here, Becky?
Aye.
Oh, great, thank you. Bob Gardner, I am here. Cindy Labin,
Here.
Cindy, I think I saw you. All right, Deborah Faust Clancy, Deborah, are you here?
Have not seen Deborah yet, no.
Okay, and then Liddy Gray. Liddy, are you here?
No.
Okay. Sharon Slosky, Sharon, are you here?
I'm here.
Great, thank you. And Sue Kennedy, Susan, are you here? Ooh.
Sue is here.
Did I hear somebody say Sue?
Sue is here, yep.
Oh, super. All right, so I guess we've got a quorum, just barely. Thank you.
Just barely.
Yeah. And if anybody else joins in, just let us know. Of course, if you're joining late, you won't know to let us know. But in any event, that does bring up something I'll take up on the new business. But anyway, all right, so the agenda was posted according to the open meeting law. Do I hear a motion for the acceptance of the agenda? Becky?
I move to accept the agenda.
Do I hear a second? Anybody?
Second.
Second by Sharon, or Cindy, I think. Sharon, maybe. I'm
Doesn't
sorry.
matter.
Didn't recognize the voice. All right, so any discussion? Hearing none, take a vote, do a roll call vote. All those in favor of accepting the agenda, and I'll go through the roll call in the same order that I did before. Becky?
Aye.
All right, Bob Gardner, aye. Cindy Lavin?
Aye.
All right, Sharon Solosky?
Aye.
Sue Kennedy?
Aye.
Okay, all right. Any opposition? Hearing none, it carries unanimously. All right, thank you all very much. Public comment. I don't know if we have anybody from the public or not here. Anybody, I see 10 participants, but I don't have the names. Is anybody here, or anybody want to say anything from the public? And that includes any of the library staff too. I appreciate you all being here. And then we have the next item on the agenda is approval of the minutes of the January 21st, 2021 minutes. 2021 meeting, I apologize. Has everybody had a chance to look at those? Okay. All right, don't all speak at once. Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes of 1/21/2021?
So move.
That's Sharon Slosky, so moved. Second, anyway?
I second Becky Campiner.
Thank you, Becky. All right, we'll take there's no discussion. We'll call the vote. All those in favor, let's go through the roll call again. Becky, how do vote.
Aye.
Okay, Bob Gardner votes aye. Cindy Lavin, how do you vote?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Sharon Salasky
Aye.
and Sue Kennedy.
Aye.
All right, thank you. No negative votes, no abstentions, so the motion carries unanimously. Thank you all very much. Does anybody have any announcements they'd like to make? Tim, do you have any announcements you'd like to make for the library?
Nothing that I'm not going to cover. Well, I'll cover, there's a couple of things that are new, but I can cover them in the director's report. I thought it might be nice, though, to have Sharon talk a little bit about, she's been doing some research into the library's records, looking for information about gifts and donations in the past. And she's also been finding other interesting things. So I thought I'd give her a chance to just weigh in and let us know some of the interesting stuff she's been finding.
Yeah, Sharon, that probably now is an opportune time for you to discuss that. And Sharon and I walk a lot, not together, but our paths cross, and she did announce that she was going to do that. And I'm serious when I say this on behalf of myself, and I think I speak for the full board and library staff. Thanks very much for undertaking this project to do some research into the archives to see, what some of these trust funds particularly were provided to the library. But anything you'd like to say, Sharon, about your research?
Well, I'm really enjoying it.
Good.
I just dipped my toe into all the materials that Tim and Sam have given me. I've only gone through the 2 books that have the trustees meetings in them, but it's really very interesting. I am amazed at how many meetings were canceled because there was no quorum. At least 2 or 3 a year.
Okay.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but a question. Samantha, did you give Sharon the folder full of all the artifacts that had been given to the history room that I had pulled out of the minutes like years ago?
Samantha, you're muted, I think.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. We haven't been able to find that.
Okay, so I know where it was.
Okay.
It originally was in that half-size hanging folder thing.
Okay.
Over by where the scanner was, and then Dawn and I relocated it in one of the file cabinets in the back of the history room.
Okay.
At the end of one of the stacks. It was just a large folder, and I had already gone through all of the old minutes and had Xeroxed all the pages that had to do with donations, so that could save an awful lot of time if you would find that.
Yes. And I've looked for it. I know it exists, and I feel like I've seen it, and
Yes, you have seen it because we showed
I know
it.
I've seen it, and it was one of those. Where did it get put?
How to find it. It will save so much time.
Yeah.
It-
So
no-
yeah, it's one of those. Dawn and I have both hunted for it, and we both know to keep an eye out.
Cindy, was that like all gifts, or was that like specific objects or books or things like that?
It was objects, and it was large groups of books, but not so much books that were for the general public to take out. It was more special items.
Okay.
It was paintings and
Like the family Bible.
all that stuff, but it had nothing to do with the trusts or any of the funds, and it had nothing to do with the normal reading
Materials.
Yeah.
So it had. Did it have stuff? It had stuff about like the paintings and that kind of thing. I wonder. Oh, I have an idea. Now I have an idea.
Okay.
That's a good.
I wonder, I think some of it, I think it's still all in the file. I think we broke some of it apart like this is all on the paintings. I think that might be some of it. So
Well, that might be the case, but I mean,
now that you're saying that, I'm going, oh, I think there's something.
So Sam, did you pull it apart when the appraiser came over the summer?
I didn't pull it apart. I just
Okay.
feel like it was.
Gotcha.
So
All right, we'll redouble our efforts to track that file
locate
down.
that.
But yeah, I mean, I was definitely interested in. I mean, I knew you had done that, Cindy, and I was hopeful that we could also dig out some more information just about, you know, some of the money that's come in and gone into the trust funds over the years.
Yeah, no, I didn't do anything about the money. All I
Yeah.
did was the history, you know, the historical stuff.
Yeah.
And it is fascinating, isn't it, Sharon?
It is very fascinating. I was charged with making a list of the money donations. So that's what I've been.
Yeah, I didn't do that at all. So you're not duplicating my stuff at all.
Yeah, we were trying not to duplicate past work if we could. So
all I've done so far is the 2 books of minutes. I haven't even looked in the file boxes yet. So that's what I'm going to tackle next.
And I don't know what happened with the records, whether they were ever printed out. Once, right around the late 90s, Carol Callahan began taking the minutes on a laptop rather than writing them out. And I don't know whether there's still paper copies of that around, if that was ever printed out or not. So there might be a gap. I don't know.
Okay. Well, the books ended in November 1980.
Right. But there was more stuff somewhere.
Okay.
But by the 90s, there wasn't any more. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if Tim and Sam found any more or not, but.
We have quite a bit of the 90s. I feel like the late 80s are a little sparse.
Yeah, there was a big chunk of missing meetings.
So, well,
thank you.
Hope that
Thank you very much, Cindy, for calling that to everybody's attention, particularly Sharon. And Sharon, thank you very much for undertaking that. I really appreciate that. Not to be difficult, but I'm just thinking I got to get my reader glasses on here, but I want to try to stay to the agenda times if we can. So I guess the next item, if there's no other public announcements or anything else, Sharon, I wasn't trying to cut you short, Sharon, or Cindy, about that. If there's nothing else.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No, I don't want to cut you off. Did you have something else to say?
I just had a list of some of the donations. In September of 1980, Mr. McGuan checked the records for funds and gave all the information to Mr. Black. And at that time, there were 5 funds that totaled $37,835.44. And then after that accounting, there was an additional donation from Janet Sherwin's estate of $55,000. And that's as far as I got.
All right. Oh, thank you very much. That's Carl A. Black.
Oh, yeah.
Graduate of Ayer High School, went on to law school and practiced law in town for many, many years. Great fellow. And it's also Charlie A. McGuan. I think it was Charlie A. McGuan. He was on the school committee for many, many years, and a good fellow also. And yeah, Janet Sherwin, she was very active in town matters, and she actually, I think, was the secretary to Judge Lyman C. Clark, Judge Clark, and that's where the money, I think, came from. Janet Sherwin and Lyman C. Clark Trust. And I greatly appreciate all that work. And those names ring a bell to me because I knew all of them. You know, at least even as a child, I knew who they were. But Judge Clark, he lived down the street from me. But no, thank you very much. So if there's nothing else, should we move on to the treasurer's report? Sue Kennedy?
I agree with you, Bob. Let's move on to the reports.
Thank you. I wasn't trying to cut anybody off, but just trying to run the meeting in accordance with the time schedule. So, Sue Kennedy, anything you want to tell us about the treasurer's reports?
No, not really. I think you were copied on at least one of the emails, but I don't have access to the bank accounts. So I think Barbara is working on it and will let me know.
Okay.
Then I'll.
Any questions of Susan? Anybody have any questions for our treasurer?
Yeah, Sue, do you not have access because we then went and moved everything over to Barbara? Is that why you don't have access anymore?
Well, they actually did move the accounts. So she explained they didn't move the accounts, they just changed the account numbers, which tells me it's a new account.
Yeah.
And yeah, instead of adding her on, she's going to add me on to the new accounts.
Okay. So is it the same thing? Like you have to go back down to the bank and get your name on the accounts?
Correct.
Right.
And Bob will have to also.
Oh,
Okay.
I got to go too. All right. Hey, Sharon, let me know when you're going, and I'll tag along. Okay.
When what?
Well, do you have to call and make an appointment now due to COVID, maybe?
I'm waiting to hear from Barbara when she gets her paperwork done. I think she has to get us a letter.
Okay. All right. Well, whatever. Just give me a buzz, and I'll go down with you, or meet you down there, or whatever.
Yeah.
And, whatever's good. All right. So it's just an administrative type of thing. I mean, nobody's trying to shut you out of the info,
No,
correct?
just yeah. Stuff
Thank
that
you.
always ends up like that.
No, that's life.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Anything else from the treasurer's report necessary? If not, we'll move on to the library director's report, if I'm not going too fast.
Mm-hmm.
Tim, all set to tell us about your report?
Sure. Anybody have any questions, first of all, about the January report that I sent out earlier this week?
I have a question, Tim. It's not about the report specifically. I try to listen to Governor Baker every day, at least on my telephone, and I caught a little bit of his presentation today. But where are we relative to the libraries as far as the COVID restrictions, as far as opening it up in a limited capacity?
Well, from the perspective of the town manager, nothing really has changed. And I got, God bless you for listening to Governor Baker every day. I don't know. It seems like things change if not every day, it's certainly every couple of days. So we're still kind of in a holding pattern, waiting to see how things progress. I mean, the big news that I was aware of was the push to have students go back to school in person, like 5 days a week as of the 1st of April or something like that. Is that right, Becky?
It sure is.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm definitely keeping an eye on things, and, we are, if not actively preparing to open, we're definitely thinking about it and how we would, how we bring the staff back together and, just making sure that we have everything ready to go, so that we can do it once we, sort of get the go ahead. But, as of this point, I still don't have, a good sense of when that might be, other than, I'm thinking that, assuming we have the same thing happen this year that happened last year, that, when the weather gets warmer and, it seems like the infection rates are going down just because, people are outside more, their, windows are open, that kind of thing. We can, we may have an opportunity there to to open up the library at some, to some extent, in the late spring, early summer, perhaps. Again, if more people are getting vaccinated every day, in spite of problems there. So I'm hopeful that it won't be too much longer.
And Tim, what would your benchmarks be that you're looking for in order to be able to open?
Again, I think it's I'd like to see, I'd like to get, ideally I'd like to have like all of the staff vaccinated first. As many of them as are willing to do it and able to do it. I don't, from what my understanding is that at least at this point, it's not clear that, we can require them to get vaccinated, but, it's something that I believe that, Town Hall is looking into as far as town employees go. So I'd like to have the staff vaccinated, and I'd like to see, I guess I'd like to see that, the April sending all the kids back to school doesn't cause another, surge of some proportions, that the rates of infection continue to go down, and that we get to a point where, again, like restaurants are opening up, and it's more likely that more other town buildings are opening up, like Town Hall opens up again and that sort of thing. So just for what it's worth, Mass Board of Library Commissioners sent out a little survey about 10 days ago to libraries just to see where people were, what they were offering for services right now. And I'm not going to have the numbers right in front of me, but it was, I think there were like 210 or so libraries responded. And I want to say about 140 of them were not open at all. And then there were, again, about the 65 or 70 had, some sort of open. Either they were allowing people in by appointment, or they were doing, it wasn't clear. There were no details. It was just like, yes, no. So it's still, the majority, 2/3 or so of the libraries in the state that are reporting it, are not open at all. So it's something that, I think we're, like I said, I think we're still sort of in a wait and see, and I don't know if we're going to have a clear benchmark other than, somebody like the town manager or the governor saying, all right, everybody needs to reopen.
Well, that still seems like it's a pretty wide. Restaurants are open already. Every being able to get a vaccination. The last group, I think, comes late this year. So that's like open tomorrow or not open this year. Is there anything other?
No, again, I think it's going to be a combination of things. If we start getting, if the infection levels really drop as the weather improves, I'm certainly going to look at opening up, whether we can open up in some limited fashion this summer. I think, if we could keep the windows open so we get lots of air going through and that sort of thing. Because I think we're certainly all more comfortable with, we know more about the virus than we did this time last year and how it's transmitted. So, again, I think it's more about keeping too many people from congregating in places where there's no air circulation, and it's less of an issue with people picking up stuff and touching stuff and then putting it back down. That's not a serious way. It doesn't seem to be a significant means of transmission for this virus. So it has more to do, again, with, like I said, airflow within the building. Can we open up some windows? limit the number of people going in and out, that kind of thing.
Tim, I wasn't suggesting necessarily that the library open up right away or even soon, but I do think that it's something we should be considering.
Yep.
You know, because I think at some point, you know, obviously there's a lot of emphasis on getting the schools back 5 days a week, and I know that's altogether different. I certainly don't want to see any of the staff or any of the users or the patrons of the library end up with COVID, because I know it can be very difficult no matter what your age is. And, you know, I just for everybody's information, I'm actually scheduled to get my first vaccination shot March 2nd, you know, because I fall. Excuse me?
Lucky you.
Oh, well, yeah, it's, you know, I fall between 65 and, you know, 74 and 364, I guess.
I spent so many hours online trying to schedule myself, and that's not happening.
Well, I will share this with you. My niece, who is a whiz at computers, helped me immensely. So she's got my wife and I and my sister, who's 69. We've got appointments down in Lowell March 2nd at 1:10 in the afternoon. So
nice.
Yeah, I did hear, just as a announcement, I did hear up in Gardner, at some, believe it or not, a grocery store is giving shots, and my wife had a friend that got her shot today up there, believe it or not. I mean, I know this is probably not library business, but detract me from it. But getting back to the library, Tim, I mean, you know, at some point I do suspect, you know, that, you know, people will want to get the libraries open. I mean, even if it's on a limited basis with, you know, people calling in for appointments. I mean, the book pickup has worked pretty well. I mean, I like the annex, call it. So
it's the curbside branch. That's what we're calling it.
Curbside branch. I will tell everybody that my library books are probably overdue, but I think I get one of them at 3 weeks. So, but I'm not looking for any special treatment. But, you know, it's just something I think we should be thinking about. And I'm glad to hear that the State Library Board is looking into it too and asking what everybody else is doing. So that's something we should talk
Tim,
about.
I have a quick question.
Yeah, go ahead, Becky.
Has the circulation system within the library, has it been checked out? Is it adequate? Because obviously it will be hot on days in the summer, or it will be raining, so maybe windows can't be opened. Is there a decent flow of air moving in that building?
In the newer part of the building, yes, because the heating and the air conditioning it's a forced air system. The older part of the building is not. So, you know, that's probably, you know, we talked about that early on. When we were talking about reopening, we figured, well, we probably won't let people, you know, go down to the old, like the reading room or whatever, you know, down the hall. We'll keep people in the new part of the building where there actually is mechanical airflow. You know, I've had some initial conversations with Chuck Schultz, the facilities director, about, you know, is there a way that we can tweak the settings of that system? I mean, it's on pretty much all the time when the building is occupied to circulate air, but I don't know what, I mean, I don't have a sense of like how frequently it refreshes the air in the entire, you know, say the entire main stack area. I don't know. And I don't know if it, you know, those are things that we, you know, we probably have to look into a little bit more, but, yeah, at least in the newer part of the building, there is regular airflow when it's occupied and the system is on. So,
Tim, that's where the public computers are too, right?
Yep. So it's the children's room and the teen room downstairs, and then the main area upstairs where the computers are in the study room.
So. Is that something that Charlie Schultz can help you out, or is that something we need an outside contractor to come in and do some kind of measurement?
No, I think it's something we can figure out internally.
Okay, great.
Yeah, and he and I have been talking fairly frequently about a variety of building related things. So, yeah, next time I have a chance to buttonhole him, I'll bring that up again.
All right, thank you. Because I just think at some point there's going to be like a a movement to get places opened up,
Yep.
similar to the schools right
Yep.
now. It's just we want to be ready for that. Okay, thank
Tim,
you.
I remember last spring, I think we had talked about air filters, that they have some fairly reasonably priced, not cheap, but I thought at that time you had said that the town was going to be supplying some.
We did,
Because,
yeah, we did purchase, right, we did purchase several, yeah, they're like air purifiers. So, it's a HEPA filter. One of them has a sort of an additional like electrostatic function that supposedly helps, knock stuff out of the air. So we do have those in the building, and we do run them now when the staff are kind of, working together in like the main circulation desk area. So those are, we have those in the building, so we can certainly set them up, in different locations to help with just circulating air and, running it through a filter to the extent that will help, clear out any virus particles.
yeah.
That'd be great.
And then along with what Robert was saying is restaurants are open now, but I wouldn't go. But I would, but I do go to the grocery store.
Right.
And wear a mask. And there seems, I'm thinking there may be something kind of in between, that if we get down as low as we did last summer, I think we went for a few months with 0 cases in air, that there's some kind of plan to maybe partially open. And if somebody could come up with some kind of plan that if it hits a certain point, we could partially open, maybe having time limits for people, or limiting the number of people, or
by appointment
kind of plan.
Yep. No, we've talked about that, in general terms, and yeah, I think it's a good point, and Sam and I can start, actually putting some things down on paper, and as try to draft some things up and just figure out, all right, is this workable? How much capacity do we have, to do that sort of thing? Is it safe? So I agree. I'll put that on the to-do list for, the next couple of months, and we'll try to flesh out a better, plan to reopen.
The other thing, Tim, is, I'm not trying to say, steal or borrow from other people, but, the other libraries in our cohort, I mean, Groton comes to mind, and Shirley, and, maybe even limits to your old place. But see what some of the other libraries are doing or planning.
Right.
It's, if they, rather than us reinvent the wheel, if they've already got a plan.
We've all. Yeah, I'm sorry, Bob. We have all sort of borrowed, from each other in terms of, COVID policies and that sort of thing. I mean, the reopening is a little trickier, just because everybody's building is a little different in terms of, how it's laid out and how big the rooms are, and, and that sort of thing. So, we can certainly think about doing things like, by appointment for browsing or computer use, or limiting a certain number of people, to, per room or something like that. But, it'll be a little bit, it'll have to be customized, obviously, to our situation.
Right. Is there a number with the maximum capacity in the library? Because I know it seems like a lot of the places that you hear that are opening up, restaurants a certain amount or certain capacity. You're talking about sporting events. I guess they've got 5 or 10% capacity. I don't even know what the library has for capacity.
Sam, do you remember what the original capacity was? It was something like 200 or a little over.
Yeah, it was right around 200. And I know when sorry, stink bug just flew at me. Yeah, it was close to about 200. And I think we figured it out if we blocked off the old section and including the staff. I think we were talking like 15 people max at a time or something.
15 patrons, Sam, in addition
Yeah.
to 12. All right. Well, that's not a bad target, I guess. Or, I mean, let 15 people in by appointment or something to come in, not to browse, but maybe to use the
Yeah,
computer.
and I will say, like, we did that math back in June or something, like May, June, July, somewhere in there. So I think we'd want to look at it again and see.
No, I understand. No, thanks very much. Um, well, it's almost like we kind of got into the COVID-19 operations of the library in the near future discussion from the director's report. Tim, is there anything else you wanted to mention in your director's report section?
Yeah, there's one other thing that we just sort of nailed down like earlier today. Last week, the Ayer Select Board approved a 2% cost of living adjustment for non-union town employees, so that covers pretty much all the library staff.
Yeah.
So Lisa Gabri sent me an updated spreadsheet, and I tweaked it so that we got the material spending formula right and everything else. So I have, let me just change this view here.
Yeah.
I'll show you. So we went, you may recall that, can you see this sort of spreadsheet view right now?
Yep.
On the screen? Okay.
A little bit, yeah. I mean, I can see it. I have a little trouble reading.
Right.
Reading
Let me see if I can zoom this in a little bit. So this was the initial budget request back in December.
Yeah.
So 615, 544, and there was a little concern because that was under the MBLC's municipal appropriation requirement for this year. This is the amount that we need to hit as a minimum to continue to qualify for state aid and all the benefits that come with being part of that system. But assuming that we got a cost of living adjustment at 2% or so, that would do it. And so I'm going to switch to the updated version right now.
So Tim, is this what ends up being for July 21 to June of 22?
Exactly.
Okay.
And so this is the updated number here. So it's now 625, 244.
Yay, we just make it.
We just make it.
I think it's important when we go to town meeting that you explain that the minimum amount is just about 615, to get the benefits from the state. It's
actually 621. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, then we just barely make it.
Yep. So, but that's good. So we're in good shape. This is the number that will go into the omnibus budget package that will show up at town meeting, and that town meeting is actually, the dates are all moved around, so it's actually Monday, April 26th. It's town meeting.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, they've that was going to be part of the next update, the town election stuff, but.
I had one more question on the budget that you sent out to us.
Yes.
Because it looked different than the previous detailed budget that you sent.
The operating budget update that I sent?
Right.
Yes.
Because we had agreed on, you had sent us the detailed one before and asked if that was okay, and I thought we had agreed to that other layout.
Yep. And I
thought
can.
That one was going to be quarterly. No, the detailed one.
So
okay.
I can do the. I mean, I can send out the detailed one every month. It's just that as the year goes on, it gets longer and longer, and because all the charges are going into it. But if you want to do that, because what I did this month was I sent you basically just the bottom line numbers on this report, and then I sent a couple of the invoices that we had paid since the last meeting.
Okay, no, I'm fine with Becky's suggestion of doing it quarterly.
No, so I just thought that a meeting's a few, like we wanted this every month, but the more detailed one, I thought we had agreed that it would be quarterly. I could be wrong. I just brought it up because I thought that's what we agreed on.
I think you're right, Beck.
That was, yeah, I mean, that was my recollection as well. But yeah, so I'll do this. We'll do this again next month, and then the month after that, you'll get another one that'll be about 12 or 14 pages long with, umpteen entries on it. So
Lots of fun. Thank you, Tim.
okay.
Thank you.
Let me go
Tim,
back.
any other updates?
I don't think so. I think that's all I've got.
I would like to say about town elections, I guess I'll call Liddy and tell her if she's interested in staying on the library board. I feel bad because she's not here tonight, but she's got to get her name in. I'm not sure what the deadline is.
I have that. Yeah, I have that here, Bob, and I can send her an email and just, I think the town clerk usually sends out, she tries to send out an email to everybody who supposedly is up for election or up for re-election, but I don't know if Lindy received that. So I'll send her an email and just make sure that she's aware of the deadlines. I mean, the nomination. Yep.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Tim, just for my own edification, what is the deadline for getting on the ballot?
So you can, the last day to submit nomination papers is Monday, March 22nd.
We have time.
I just signed somebody's nomination papers tonight for the planning board. He asked me to. All right, yeah, and I think I'll call Liddy and just ask her. I did want to bring this up, and it's probably apropos, particularly tonight where we just barely made the quorum. But if anybody knows anybody that might be interested in running or getting on the library board or whatever, yeah, I'd like to certainly encourage them because it does. Well, it shows the interest for the town, and I know it's very difficult times now, but it would be nice to have a full complement of 9 members, so we don't have to worry so much about meeting the quorum all the time. So if anybody knows of anybody and they want to talk to them, I would encourage them. Not that I'm trying to generate competition for Liddy if she's going to run or not, but if there's anybody else, I guess Tim, off the record, off the top of your head, I mean, there's what is it, 2 openings right now, or there's 3?
There are 2 vacancies right now.
Okay, is that 1 year and 2 years?
Well, actually, the vacancies are in the permanent seats right now. So
Okay.
we have one vacant or one elected seat that is coming up for a 3-year term this year, and that's the one that Lindy will run for, assuming she wants to. And then I believe Sharon's seat will be up for re-election next year.
Okay.
And then Sue's will be up the year after that. But the board at pretty much any time could decide to appoint, anyone from the elected seats into one of the permanent seats to make room for someone to run.
I would,
Okay.
when we get closer to that time, or whenever really, that Sharon's the next one up. Is that right?
Yes, I believe so.
That maybe we do that. I mean, I can't remember who got elected when and what.
I'm 99% sure, Cindy, because I just spent probably an hour and a half going through this with, again with the town clerk, just to make sure we were both on the same page. So.
So Tim, I moved to a permanent seat. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
You are.
Yeah. You are there for life now, Becky.
Right. So I have a question. I noticed that I saw some vacancies that are put on the town website for other vacancies for, so I was wondering, Tim, could you possibly put our vacancies on the town website so that town people, as they look at it, they'll see that there's vacancies available rather than on our Facebook page?
Yeah, they won't show up. The permanent seats don't show up, though. That's the thing. It's only the elected positions that show up on the town website. So that's the tricky part. I mean, we can put it up on our own website and, certainly just, post it on Facebook from time to time too, just to say, we're looking for, we're looking for people who are interested in, serving the library. So, I think it might be a good thing to do again, as we say, as we get into the warmer weather and people start coming out of hibernation, so.
Well, would it make more sense for people who are already on the board that actually show up for meetings to be in the permanent seats, like Sharon?
Yes. If Sharon so chooses to want to be a permanent.
Nobody runs for a permanent position. You run for an elected position,
right.
And you've been on, then you get moved to a permanent position. There is no electing a permanent position. Thank heavens.
Yeah, and so typically there's only one library trustee, one elected seat for library trustee that's up for re-election every year, unless, multiple people who are in those elected seats all resign, at once.
Or permanent people resign and elected people move into them.
There you go. Yeah.
Now that it's all clear as mud.
Yeah.
Hey,
I
Tim,
think I did. Yeah.
I would ask you, Tim, if you hear from Liddy that she's not interested and she's not going to run, you could send out an email blast to all of us. And
I will.
If that's the case, we might want to see if we can get together and find somebody that would run.
We'll drag someone off the street and
Great.
yeah, dragooned.
We have to.
All right. Just to let everyone know, we're at about 6:17. We have until 6:30, and that's sort of a hard out today because the Conservation Commission, I think, is up at 7, and they need a little time to set up for them.
Okay.
I don't have anything more.
The only thing that we haven't talked about, Tim, is the strategic plan update on the agenda.
Sure. Yeah, okay.
Just because that's on my brain all the time.
So, yeah, I wanted to ask if any of you, so I did circulate the 2 proposals that I'd received as of the last meeting. I was hoping to get at least one more, but I didn't get anything from anybody else. So, any questions or concerns about anything that was in the proposals? If not, what I say is, I think I said this last time, I'm fine working with either one of those consultants, and so assuming you guys are okay with it, I would go with the one who had the lower bid at this point.
Tim, I thought that the Friends were going to be involved in the strategic plan.
You are going to be involved, yes.
Well, I didn't see these proposals that you're mentioning.
Okay, well, you'll be involved in terms of having input into the information gathering part of it. So when we start doing some focus group work and that sort of thing, one of the things that I had asked the consultants to do was to make sure that we do have a focus group, like with all the Friends, and one with all the trustees, so that you guys have a chance to to share your thoughts and your ideas. But as far as like working with, if you have a question or a comment, Lori, I'm happy to entertain it now about the proposals themselves.
Well, I haven't seen the proposals, so I don't have any comments. Okay. But I was under the impression originally that the Friends were going to be involved at this stage, prior to the fact-finding focus group stage. Okay.
I don't know why. forgive me, but I don't recall that discussion.
Does anybody else remember that?
No, what kind of input do you want, Laurie?
Well, the friends were asked, I would have to go back to my notes, but the friends were asked to be part of the planning group.
So yeah, so there will be a planning, sort of an informal planning committee that I will work with Becky to sort of round out, and your name is kind of at the top of that list, Lori. So that I will, that'll be a relatively small group that'll work with, the consultant to do some initial kind of visioning and, coming up with sort of a mission statement for the library. And
Okay,
then
that sounds,
there'll be more,
that's
then there'll
good.
be more, of the traditional data gathering and surveys and focus groups for everybody else.
Sounds good to me, thanks.
Okay.
So, well, you're satisfied with that from the standpoint of if we, the board, pick one of the two vendors, that you and the friends would be involved right from the very beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That-
there will be there will be Friends representation on the kind of the core planning committee. I think that's what we probably talked about.
Yep, I think so. Okay, sounds
Okay.
good. Thank you.
All right, I'm glad we figured that.
It was easy.
Yeah. I think whatever proposal you think and who you've talked to and who you feel is going to do the best job for us. It looked like both of them wanted to start in March, which is right around the corner. So I think
Yep.
a decision needs to be made in the next 5 to 7 days.
Yep. No, absolutely.
Can you just refresh my recollection as to the two bidders or the two proposals. What was the relative amount? Not to the penny, but I think one was like double the other, wasn't it?
One was about 5,000 and one was about 8,000.
Okay, well, not quite double.
So
Just,
yeah.
So
You
it's the Sage consulting service that was $4,950.
Yeah, and that price, and that, she offered more of kind of like a la carte. So if we wanted to do, additional focus group or two, that price could go up. The other bid was a not to exceed $8,000. And, in talking with that consultant, she said she frequently comes in well under that quote when she's doing this work. So take that for what it's worth.
But you felt comfortable with either one of them,
By
right,
any
Tim?
chance?
Whoops, I'm sorry. Deborah?
Do we need to vote on that, yes or no?
I don't think so. No, this is something that, I think this is something where the director can just say, this is the person I like working with, we'll just go with it. And, unless I'm not hearing any strong objections from anybody. So
Right.
I think,
You felt comfortable with either one of them, right?
yep. Yeah, I had at least an hour-long conversation with each one after they sent, an initial sort of letter of interest. So yeah, I feel pretty good about both of them.
Okay.
All right, so yeah, I'll get that rolling ASAP.
All right, I think we have now covered everything on the agenda that has a bullet. So
Yes. And
any new
yeah.
business?
Yeah, any new business or old business, we got 5 minutes and I don't want to spend the time if we don't have to.
Do you have the date of the next meeting? I don't have my calendar here.
So we're tentatively scheduled to go back to the third Thursday, if that works for everybody. So that would be March 18th.
I'm sorry, March what, 18th?
18th.
Okay.
And probably 5:30 is the time. I will confirm that with Town Hall and let everybody know.
It works for me. I think if April vacation is a third Thursday in April,
Yep.
I have my fingers crossed. I am trying to be out of town. So if that is the third Thursday, I will not make the April one.
Not even remotely? Come on, Becky.
I know.
You gotta show some dedication to this group. Come on.
I'm giving you a month's notice.
Okay.
Plus,
2 months.
All right. Well, if we can move it off the third Thursday in April, I'll see what we can do.
All right.
Becky, you're fine with March, right?
I am very much. And it actually, April vacation is the 4th Thursday because April 1st is on a Thursday. So I will be here the 15th. So no
Okay.
worries.
Darn.
Okay.
Yay.
If I don't hear any other business, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second from Deborah.
All right, and that was moved by Sharon, I think.
no,
Deborah.
So to go through the quick roll call, Becky, your position on the motion to adjourn, please.
Aye.
Okay, Bob Gardner, aye. Cindy, your position?
Aye.
Okay, Deborah Faust Clancy,
Aye.
Lydia's not with us. Sharon Solosky, your position?
Aye.
Sue Kennedy.
Aye.
All right, so it is unanimously carried. So I don't need to ask for any negatives or any abstentions. All right, thanks very much, Tim, and thank you very much, Sam, for being here, and thank you all very much for joining.